All right, today is Friday, the third day of the very month of July 2020, and welcome to your Always Want to Listen program, Spotlight Conversation, a program that brings you people around the mentors. It draws your attention to education, agriculture, innovation, and technology to see how best we meet people who are developed in these areas and see how best they have been doing, what are their challenges and their successes so far. Today I'm with a very vibrant woman who have done her best in advocacy, human rights advocacy specifically, a woman with the nerves for women's development, who at least have seen how best she had at least invested her time with the responsibility to empower girls and to see holistic development in the nation. With me, Desmond Alfred Jonathan Farma. Welcome your name and what you do.
I'm Emilia Kamara Jengo, the Programs Coordinator, Women's Forum for Human Rights and Democracy, Sierra Leone.
Madam Emilia Jengo Kamara, this name has drawn so many thoughts around the minds of the ordinary man, around who this Emilia is. We've been hearing about Emilia for so long ago now. And so what is Emilia in the advocacy world? Who is really Emilia in the advocacy world?
I'm just a very humble person who started an organization called WOFHRAD, the Women's Forum for Human Rights and Democracy, Sierra Leone. I happen to be the co-founder of the organization. In 2006, we were still at the University of Makeni studying when a colleague of mine, Madam Aisha Kanu Moriba, asked that we set up an organization to fight for the rights of women and the advancement of women. That dream came about from the simple fact that Aisha was then working for UNIPSIL also, in as much as she was at the university, but she was also working for UNIPSIL. And because of the kind of monitoring activities that we are doing in different kind of communities, she saw the need for the establishment of a female-led organization in the Bombali district. And so she approached me, and after several thoughts and discussion, I finally agreed to, cooperate with her and then established what we now call today WOFHRAD as an organization. And so we've been existing since 2006 on to date. This is where I've been working, and this is Emilia.
All right. This shows at least that you have quite an alloying personality to invest or to inspire honest positivity. Well, where does this idea come from, the inspiration from? Where was Emilia before thinking about WOFHRAD?
Interestingly, I came from a very, very humble family. I grew up in Teko Barracks. That was where I was given birth to and grew up as a very young girl coming up. And my inspiration started when we used to have visitors coming to Teko Services Primary School, Teko Barracks. By then, since it was a Catholic primary school, we used to have bishop coming on an annual basis to visit the school. So, but by then when bishop will come, they will ask for some students, to prepare speeches, to prepare drama, songs, to welcome bishop. I wasn't part of that team. I was never part of that team. Okay. But I used to go to where they were practicing just to see what's happening. And so it happened on this day that whilst they were practicing, the person who was supposed to deliver the speech to bishop was struggling to catch up with the speech. So I was at the back of the window, and I started memorizing that speech which was supposed to deliver by this guy. So my teacher saw me, and he had me saying this particular speech they were expecting this other person to do. So he called on me, come. I ran. Trust me, I thought I was obstructing what they were doing. Okay. I ran, and then later he called me again to say, Emilia, come back. Ma, come back. I was not called Emilia then. I was called Ma. So he called me, Ma, come back. Can you try it again? So I tried it, and I did it very well. Oh. And he said, okay, this year you are going to welcome the bishop. So it started from there. That was my first venture. I welcomed the bishop. It was like a news all over. You know, people start saying, and because, like I told you, I am coming from a very poor, a very humble background. I don't want to say a poor background. My father was a private military soldier, and my mother was selling palm wine. So this news started going around. Hey, Mama Musu, where they sell that poyo in Pekin. Now he talk English today for welcome bishop. So this kind of rumor started going around in the barrack. So that is how this Emilia started.
So it was like the cornerstone turned out to be somebody very much inspirational. Let's talk about WOFHRAD. What does WOFHRAD do? Like the thematic areas of operation of WOFHRAD.
WOFHRAD is more or less focusing on advancing women empowerment. We look at sexual and gender-based violence. We look at promoting the right of women, right to land for women. You know, women's empowerment, women's rights is a key. It's our niche, you know, when we talk of what that is what WOFHRAD is known for. And so that's why you see me when I go to some places. If there is an issue that came up about women, they will tell you, hey, Emilia, don't come. Emilia will come and say this, Emilia will come and say that, because that is what we stand for. And like I told you, it's from the background of our founder, Madam Aisha, who was going around to communities and see the kind of way women we are deprived, women we are humiliated, women we are maltreated. And so she came up with the idea of us starting WOFHRAD. And so our focus, we can do every other thing, yeah? We have other projects that we do implement, but trust me, our focus is on promoting women. It's on advancing the rights and responsibility of women.
As you bank on promoting women and see how best women are developed in the nation, what are the things you've done so far in that domain and see how best you capacitate the women?
We started in 2006, like I told you. We didn't have much when we started. And in 2008, we received the first funding from the Justice and Peace Commission of the Catholic Mission, Father Joe, since we were students of the Fatima Institute, now University of McKinney. He gave us a sum of 6 million loans. That 6 million loans, then, if you want to multiply it as of now, it's a very big money, which we started going out to popularize the TRC report. By then, the Truth and Reconciliation report was out, but there was not much talked about it to see how these reports can be popularized. So we started popularizing the TRC report. Of course, you know what happened during the war. You might have had stories, even if you were still young, but you might have had stories of what happened during the war. So for us, we started from there. And then in 2008, by the end of 2008, because this was early 2008, we got funding from Justice and Peace, Justice Sector Development Program. That was JSDP. And that was our officially first project implemented in Safroko Limba Chiefdom. What was this project about? We noticed during that year, Safroko Limba was having the highest rate of teenage pregnancy. So our focus was to see how we can sensitize our community on teenage pregnancy and the need for them to report cases of sexual and gender-based violence, and how we can support victims and support witnesses to come on board and testify. So that was our first project. We started seeing, you know, when you go down to the communities, you know how vulnerable our women are. So that was how it all started, you know, when we now have this niche that we will not focus on any other thing, but focusing on women's empowerment.
All right, let's talk about the teenage pregnancy. And teenage pregnancy can be emanated from sexual penetration and acts of rape. And sexual penetration and rape has menaced the improvement and the development of girls and women, mostly in this of our nation. Most like now we get too many news around sexual penetration and rape. What is WOFHRAD doing in order at least to stop this heinous attitude?
We are still engaging in our campaign. Every Thursday, it has become part of us as WOFHRAD team. You will not see me put on any other color dress but black. I don't care the occasion I'm being invited. I don't care who is coming that I need to go and talk to. I don't care whether it's my birthday I don't care if somebody is celebrating his or her birthday or having a wedding ceremony or whatever occasion. On Thursday, I'll put on black. My colleagues, our staff will put on black, because for us, it's a sign that unless and until sexual and gender-based violence is minimized, we will not stop putting on our black. Quite apart from that, we've started also what we believe catching them young. Before this time, our project focus was not on girls, in as much as we are talking about sexual and gender-based violence, but we are more or less focusing on women's empowerment. So what we've done on recently, we've now gotten 2 projects. One is the Karokura project. The second one is the SAGE project, sponsored by both Purposeful, but the SAGE project is now being funded by endeavour. That project, the Karokura project, is for us to target adolescent girls and create safe spaces for them. And in those safe spaces, on a weekly basis, we go down to those spaces and talk to our adolescent girls. Okay. For the DFID project, the SAGE project, we've now gotten also safe spaces, but this is for out of school girls. These are category of girls that have been neglected. Because they have dropped out of school, nobody cares about them. In fact, we see them as dropouts, and so we just leave them wandering about the streets, moving around. Nobody cares for them. So we've said, no, this will not continue to go on. Can we also focus on these girls who have dropped out of school? Probably they can have the zeal to go back to school. Okay. But if they cannot go back to school, does not mean they are useless. Does not mean they are hopeless. So for us, that is how we've started catching the girls young, to keep them busy, to make them focus. When we do that, they will be able to resist those men who can easily track them because of money, influence them for whatever reason. If you check most of the cases of sexual and gender-based violence that we are having, they are not being done by people far away from these girls. The perpetrators are mostly people very close to these girls. Either their relatives, either their neighbors, or probably people they know around, that comes around them. Oh, my wife, my this, my that. So how can these girls resist them when they come? It's one of the things we are now doing.
All right. Let's talk about the campaign you do, putting on black, always, But at times, it's not always about doing the campaign, not always about putting on the black. It's about what happens next to the victim, those who have been victimized. So now we had a case of a 5-year-old girl that was either raped or sexually penetrated on the type. That case is gradually going down, and we've seen cases where people and girls have been victimized, and justice at the end of the day will have nowhere to find its place. What are you doing to further this advocacy, not only putting on black?
We've had several cases that has been convicted, and I will tell you, the 5-year-old girl case is still an alleged case. Okay. I'm saying it clearly so that everybody will know this. The problem we're having, when we have alleged cases, we tend to blow it out of proportion, and sometimes we care less about what we should do to make sure we have evidence. Okay. And so what we've been doing over the years, probably because this 5-year-old case is in Freetown, we've not been doing much as an organization to go there. Okay. But for the other cases, recently, let's leave that for a 5-year-old. Right. Recently in Kwenadugu, we have a 4-year-old girl that was alleged to be sexually abused. What we did as an organization, we know we have the family support unit, and then they are not that well capacitated. So we support them with fuel as an organization, so they'll be able to convey the alleged perpetrator to McKinney. Here is the regional hospital. And some of the things we've been doing when we put on black, it's not just putting on the black, but every Thursday I put on black, I will send in a message. And some of the messages I've been sending to the government, it's not just about shouting about us having a life imprisonment for sexual and gender-based violence perpetrators. Before you secure a conviction, there are a lot of things that needs to be done. And some of those things borders around even the capacity of the FSU. I will now tell you, go to the family support unit. A whole regional family support unit cannot boast of a vehicle. So when there is perpetrator, how could they convey that perpetrator? Even if they can offer them a vehicle, they cannot afford fuel to fuel that vehicle. And so there are a whole lot of things. If the government is really serious about fighting gender-based violence, we should stop wasting these monies going around to ask people to hands off our guards. It's a very good campaign. Okay. I'm not criticizing it. Yeah. But those monies we are using for the launching, we can use those monies to give to the family support unit, buy vehicle for the family support unit, buy fuel for the family support unit, give them the necessary resources they need so they can go down to fetch perpetrators. But like I told you, we've gotten a scenario where an alleged perpetrator was conveyed with a bike, with an Okada. Okay. The police officer was at the back, and then the rider was in front. The alleged perpetrator was in the middle. So what he did, they reached in a certain location. He just pushed the rider. They fall, and then he got away because we don't have a vehicle. So how long can we continue to have perpetrators going scot-free? Okay. And sometimes also Farma. Yeah. Let's assume a case happened in Kamakwie, and within the space of 3 days, that child has not been brought to McKinney for medical examination or treatment. Before you know it, we don't even have forensic evidence, forensic machinery. The evidence is lost. So that is how we lose cases. Those are the issues. Those are the concerns.
Talking about forensic lab or machine, I made to understand those in other countries, in other like South Africa, Kenya, had a forensic lab, in order at least to see how best we know who really the perpetrator is, what really happened, and everything. Also, the challenges you've been getting quickly as time is catching up back, and now we know that there are people in communities, the most deprived communities out there, who are still suffering from this, that WOFHRAD or other organizations haven't reached yet. And how do you manage to get these of your beneficiaries that benefit from these of your projects and everything? Because there are still people who are left out there without receiving
victims far as Sanya, very close to the border between Liberia and Sierra Leone and Guinea, who have benefited from our support. We make sure we convey the family to come, because at some point the alleged perpetrator had wanted to go free already, because there was no way we could get the family of the victim to come and testify. So what we did again with the family support unit, the social welfare, we gave them support for them to be able to transport the victim and family members. They came here to McKinney. We lodged them. They were here for 2 good weeks. Okay. 2 good weeks. After they testified, we allowed them to go back to their places. And we are giving them food support. Recently also, we made a donation to the safe home. We've been crying for years that we need a safe home. We need a safe home. Now the safe home is there. It is not as equipped as a safe home should be. And I keep on telling my colleagues, we should not wait for government to do everything, because certainly they will not be able to do everything. So we, as a human rights activists, advocates, our advocacy should not just be limited in saying the things, but it should also be extended in doing the things that we need to do to make sure we have conviction and justice be served. All right.
About the safe home will be another conversation for another time. Quickly, your 2 cents to listeners over there on sexual penetration cases and rape. What do you have to say to listeners quickly?
I'll start to the parents that we should try to take care of our children. When you have a man coming around calling your child my wife, put a stop. Okay. Tell them to stop. That is where it all started. All right. And I will say to those men, If you do it today to a child who is innocent and you go scot-free, trust me, for that time being, you may think you are free, but you will never go scot-free. Because your conscience will always flag you. And so for those also who think they have money and can have lawyers to defend them, agreed, you might be defended today. But trust me, you cannot be defended forever. There will be a time you will not be able to defend yourself. And to all those who are saying, well, it's because women are not dressing properly, it's because women stays out late, it's because women are doing this. What do they want to tell me about those 4-year-old girl? What do they want to tell me about that 5-year-old girl? Is it because she was dressed half naked? Is she because she was out on the streets at night? Is she because she seduced the man? That was why she was raped. They were raped. I will say to everybody, and for those men who are doing it to other people's daughter, remember, tomorrow if you do it today to somebody's daughter, they can do it to your own daughter tomorrow.
Okay.
Even though we are not praying for that, but what goes around comes around. And we say to everybody, stop abusing our women and child, because they deserve respect and they need their dignity. They are also human beings, and none of us ask to become women, but we are proud to become women because that is the stuff we are made up of. And so we will not give up our womanhood now because we are being maltreated, we are being treated like trash. Okay. We will still continue pushing and will not give up.
All right, thank you very much. It has been all Spotlight conversation with me, Desmond Alfred Jonathan Farma. Let's keep vibrating on the frequency to at least end sexual penetration and rape cases. I've been with Madam Emilia Kamara, the program coordinator for WOFHRAD, Women's Forum for Human Rights and Democracy. Thank you.